Hello growers, I am back again with another growing video, and today we are going to do chili and chives. I've also got a little bit of a growing update for you, so stay tuned for that. So what I'm going to do is bring you guys closer so that you can see what I'm doing, but now is a great time, so it is middle of February, now is a great time to get all your herbs in, right? So I'm only doing chives, but if you want to do rosemary, basil, parsley, all of it, thyme, all of it, just get those herbs in now, and especially rosemary, because my word, that does not germinate for about 2 weeks, I swear. So don't worry, you're not doing anything wrong if you start to see a slow growth on your herbs. But February is now the time to get them in, so we are going to plant some chili and chives. Okay, so we are going to do, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to only do one plant of chili because they grow quite a few fruits. If you've ever grown a chili plant before or a pepper plant before, you get quite a fair amount of fruits on there, and I live alone, so I'm not going to waste. But obviously if you have more people in your house, then you may want to plant a little 4-pot like this. For the chives, we are going to stick them in here, and I'm going to be doing quite a few of the chives in here. So, I mean, depending on how many I get in here, the whole packet might end up here. But that's because I do use chives quite a lot, and obviously when you get quite a nice hair on top, you can just come along and snip what you need as and when. So we're going to do that with the chives. And I'm not happy, I will show you later on in the video, but I'm not happy with the spring onion, salad onion growth that we planted on the first video, which I will link in the description below, so you can watch that if you haven't already. I'm not happy with the growth of it, so we are going to do a bonus plant of some more salad onion today. Okay, we're going to start with the chives. So get yourself a pot. Now, you do not need to have a pot like this. You can have a plastic bottle. You can literally make anything that you can find to put some holes in and use it. Okay, so gardening does not have to be expensive at all. Okay, it can be as cheap or as expensive as you would like. So please don't think that you need to go out and go and buy new, pots and that. No, you don't have to. You can absolutely use household items. It's just that I have these pots, so I'm going to use them. But in my last video, I did show you how to use foil trays. So I'm just going to fill this pot here with some compost. Now, this compost is just exactly that. There is no added perlite, vermiculite, cocoa coir or anything like that. This is just purely compost, and that's because it is the cheapest. So I'm gonna just slightly tap down here just to make sure that, we have a good, nice connection in this pot here. We don't want any loose soil. So just tap it down a little bit, and it's pretty much exactly how we did the onion. Okay, so there is no little packet inside here, so we have them loose. And these chive seeds are very small, and they are little black seeds. If you can see that there, they're little black seeds. Now, to be fair, I think I'm just going to use them all. You've got this much in my hand, and then that much left. And I know some of you are like, oh, well, there's a couple there. Well, you know what? I'm just going to overseed it, okay? You guys are going to come with the journey, and you're going to see what happens when we do it this way. So let's just put our chives in our pot. And you just want to spread it around in here, around your pot. I'm literally just going to do them all because there's no point. Look, they're gone already. They're literally gone already. So I'm going to tap out those last few. And I'm going to see if I can get to show you here what it looks like. All right, so can you see those little black seeds in there? That is the chive seed that we have just planted. Well, we've just seeded. So all I'm going to do now is just grab a little bit of this compost and we're going to pop it over here, but we're not going to suffocate the seeds, okay? The seeds are quite small, so they need enough to be able to break through. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of extra soil on top of this now. Okay, that should do it. And I'm just going to lightly tap that down. Now this compost is moist, right? So if your compost is not moist, then give it a little water. But what I did explain in the last video is one of the best ways that you can water your plants and seedlings is by bottom watering. Okay, so what that means is because you have the holes in the bottom here, so what we can do is grab some water. Can you see? Yeah. Put the water in a pot, well, in some sort of container, right? A little shallow container like this. Just going to pop some water in it like that. And then you simply take your little seedlings and you leave them in the water. And this is bottom watering, okay? So what it's doing is it's taking it from the holes in the bottom and it's just going to take it all up and it will basically take what it needs, okay? So it's a much better, efficient way of watering. So we're going to leave this like this now. And that is our spring onion. No, that is our chives done. That is our chives done. I didn't get plant labels either. This is why I can't just be like, oh yeah, I'll remember. You think you'll remember, you won't remember. So I'm going to grab something to label this up as chives. Chives. Okay, so moving on to the chili pepper. Any pepper that you plant will need to have a lot of sunlight, okay? Because obviously it's from a tropical place, well, chilies especially, okay? The hotter the chili, the hotter weather you're gonna need, okay? So you might find that you might even not be able to grow properly like Carolina Reapers outside without like hardcore lights and stuff. So jalapenos, you know, and mixed peppers and things like that, fine. But if you're going really, really hot, then just be aware that you might not get the full benefit out of it. But for the purpose of this video, we are going to plant one pepper seed. And because I said to you that I need to plant some extra spring onion, I think what I'm going to do now is get another pot like we got for the chives. So let me do that. Voila. Okay, so here is my pepper pot. I am going to fill the pot with the compost. Okay, so now we have our pot filled up with soil. What I would tell you again is to plant more than you want. So I want one plant, but I'm going to plant 2 seeds. Okay, these are what the seeds look like. They're basically pepper seeds, what you would get from the supermarket and you cut open a pepper. That's it. Also, you can grow from those seeds as well, okay? You don't obviously have to buy them. I just was getting them and they were 49p. So I was like, you know what, I might as well just grab a whole lot of seeds. Anyway, I digress, sorry. So these are the pepper seeds and you will want to plant more than one just in case it doesn't take and it doesn't germinate. Okay, because very hot seeds again are quite hard to grow like to its full potential. But what you want to do is just pop 2 or 3. You could do that, but I'd say 2 in each pot that you're doing. Okay, and then what you will do once they start to grow is you will thin out the weakest plant. Okay, so you won't be growing 2 in here. When they start to grow, you'll start to see which one's the stronger plant, yeah? Which one's got like the healthier leaves or the stronger, like more straight stem. And so in that case, when you start to realise that there is a weaker plant, you simply take out the weaker plant and you let the strong plant grow to be the eventual plant that you put out in your garden that will harvest you your fruit. Quickly gonna name the plant so we know what it is. So there we go, little jalapeno. And then again, what we're going to do is just bottom feed this again. So like I say, my compost is pretty moist, so it's, you know, doesn't need a full water. but it will just take what it needs, and the rest of it will sort of come back and just drain onto the dish here. So this is now our little jalapeno plant that we will be waiting to see how they grow. And of course, I will give you updates along the way. They might come in forms of shorts because it might be easier to do so. So yeah, make sure that you're subscribed if you want to see the growth and want to, you know, carry on along with this journey with me. But now I'm going to show you the growth of my cress that I didn't seed it in the last video, did I? It had already been growing, well, germinating for 2 days, and we saw that the little white spurts were coming out of the seedling, right? Well, let me show you the cress now. This is the same cress. Remember? Because I was like, oh yeah, I put it into this one. This is the same one, look. Growing nicely. We've got one that's kind of like extra long that's sticking out here, but I'm really happy with the way that that's going. So remember to keep it moist, all right? So maybe we just put a tad bit of water in there just to keep it moist. And then that is going back on my windowsill. Now, the reason that I am having to do some bonus salad onion, spring onion planting is because there's nothing. Like, I don't know what might be wrong with this spring onion seed. I'm not really sure. I've never come across this before. It could still be germinating, of course, but I've done this way many times and it hasn't taken very long to start sprouting. So I'm not sure what's going on with this seed. So I'm going to do it a different way and see whether we can get a different result. And that way is just going to be to do it in a couple of little section cell. Sorry, someone just walked past the window. And I was like, who is that? It was my neighbour just doing gardening, sorry. Anyway, so we're going to use these cell trays to do some more spring onion. So for the benefit of the time of the video, I've just gone ahead and filled these up. Again, I'm just going to slightly tap these down, right? So good connection with the cell tray. We don't want any sort of air pockets and stuff like that in it. So give it a good connection. And this time, I'm going to overseed still because I just like doing that method. But we're just going to do a couple in each cell to see, you know, test out basically whether we can get a different result this time. So they are the same spring onion seeds that I used for this tray here. So we're going to give it a go. And like I say, I'm not going to do too much per cell, but I still want to get a good amount. So these are the seeds, if you haven't seen them. They're very small, black, little... They kind of look like they're broken, if I'm being honest. They look like they're half seeds. But I know that that's just what they look like. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead now. And I'm just going to overseed these. And I will come back to you. And again, just a little bit over the top there. So I'll even do a smaller amount of soil than I did in the other one, just to make sure they definitely can break through. So we'll just do a tiny little bit of a layer, just enough to cover those seeds there. Okay, now I also have another dish tray thing. Obviously it's not like a particular gardening one, but it's just a plastic bowl. So that fits in there nicely, which is great. So you know what I'm going to do, didn't you? Say it with me. Bottom feed. You can also do this when you feed your crop when it starts to grow and you've got, like, you know, your plant food and things like that. Again, you can also feed it this way with the bottom feeding. Right, so left. This is how many spring onion seeds I have left out of seeding here. I'm not going to put a label on this because this is the only 4-cell tray that I have. So I'm just going to leave that like that and put it on the windowsill. And lastly, I'll give you an update on the onions that we planted in the last video. So that was the green onions, or you might say brown onion, and the red onion. So I'll show you that right now. Before I show you the onion, this was also the other cress pot, if you remember, where I literally was like, yeah, just throw your cress seed in some kitchen roll, some wet kitchen roll, and well, this one's growing as well. So we're just going to leave that there. But look at the little sproutings. This was the, do you remember when I said about the propagator tank, propagator tray with the lid? And this is the red onion, which is yet to sprout. We have not got any sproutings yet, but the brown onion / white onion is coming through. And so you can see here, both have germinated, and there, 3 have germinated there. So we've actually got some pretty good seeds here, right? And this is why we plant multiple, in case one doesn't come through, we have another. But I'm really, really excited about having this growing and catching you guys up. And that's what it looks like when the lid is on. And there's not much light, really. This isn't a south-facing window, so there's not much light there, but we are growing. Okay, quickly, it's the next day. I moved this, and look, I don't know whether it was coincidence that I said not happy about it, but we're now starting to get some little sprouts. Yay!